Hello, Barcelona family. Like and subscribe to the channel to know everything about Barcelona. In this video, we have a huge revelation about Barcelona, but before that, we need to talk about other very important topics concerning our beloved club. Let's move on to the first one. In the world of football, there are names that suddenly emerge and shake the foundations of those who love this sport. Names that don't need marketing campaigns or grandiose presentations. You only need to see them play once to know there's something different about them, something that transcends age, statistics, or the jersey they wear. Rodrigo Mora is undoubtedly one of those names. At just 18 years old, he has set off alarms across Europe, but not by whim or trend. He has done it by playing real football, with that elegance and determination that remind us of the great talents who have marked their era. And yes, Cules, it's impossible not to get excited at the idea that such talent could one day wear our jersey. When you see Rodrigo Mora on the field, you understand that there are footballers born with something special. It's not just the technique, which he possesses in abundance. It's the reading of the game, the personality, the way he makes his teammates better. It's that touch of distinction that is not taught in any academy. Mora plays with a poise beyond his years, managing the tempo of the game as if he has been playing in the elite for 10 years. He finds spaces where others only see opponents' legs, and above all, he has a knack for goals. Not one, not two, not random goals. He has scored 10 goals in a very competitive league, in a club that doesn't give away minutes easily, in an environment that demands the maximum. We are not talking about a promising player, we are talking about a player who is already performing. In the offices of our club, this talent has not gone unnoticed. The sports management, led by Deco, has closely followed Mora's evolution, and not without reason. Deco knows Portuguese football well. He is perfectly aware of how his current club's environment works and understands what kind of gems are polished there. In fact, during a recent public appearance in Portugal, he couldn't help but show his admiration for the young offensive midfielder. His words, though measured, were enough to excite us. "He is a special footballer," he said. And when someone like Deco says that, we must pay attention, because he does not give compliments lightly. If he says it, it's because he sees something in him that fits our philosophy. And that's the key, Cules. Rodrigo Mora fits like a glove into our style of play. He is not just a talented player. He is an intelligent player, a footballer who thinks before receiving the ball, who moves between the lines, who seeks to combine in short plays but also has the ability to break lines with a long run. He has that necessary pause to calm the game when needed, but also that speed required to decide matches in a matter of seconds. He is a modern, versatile offensive midfielder, capable of adapting to different systems, and who, moreover, plays with a maturity that is surprising. Imagine him at Camp Nou, imagine his name chanted by thousands of Cules after an assist or a goal from outside the box. Imagine how he could grow surrounded by an environment that not only demands but also nurtures, understands, and supports him. Because that's what we offer. We are not just any club. We are a club that knows how to train, how to wait, how to develop talent. And Rodrigo Mora, with his style, vision, and character, seems tailor-made to continue this tradition. Now, let's be honest, the path is not simple. His current club has been quick to respond to the growing interest from many teams and has decided to secure him with a contract renewal until 2031, with a release clause of €70 million. A high figure, yes, but not inaccessible, because talent, when it's real, has no price. And while the club must act with financial responsibility, it must also know how to identify when an investment is not just an expense but a bet on the future. And this, Cules, could be one of those bets. The supporters know it, they feel it. Every time a name like Mora's emerges, that characteristic excitement returns, that hope of seeing something new, fresh, different. Because, in the end, what moves us as Cules is not soulless million-dollar transfers but players who breathe football, who have magic in their feet and heart in their chest. And Mora has both. He has what we need: audacity, technique, character, and hunger. And most importantly, he has room to grow. We know it's not easy to compete with other European giants, that in the market, there are clubs with more financial muscle. But we also know that ours is not a club that seduces only with money. It seduces with history, with values, with a unique style. It seduces with the possibility of being part of something bigger than oneself. And that, for a young man like Mora, can be decisive. Because here, he wouldn't be just another player. He would be a project to cherish, a talent to polish, a key piece for the future. And that's where we, the supporters, come in. It's up to us to raise our voices, show enthusiasm, support this kind of move, because the club listens, because the managers know that, beyond the economic strategy, there is something else that also influences: the will of the people. If we show that we want Mora, if we make it clear that we believe in him, that we see him as a strategic transfer and not just a passing whim, we will be pushing in the right direction. Qs. Let's not let this opportunity pass. Rodrigo Mora can be one of those players who mark a before and after, a transfer that would not only make us better on a sporting level but also on an emotional one. He would bring back that excitement of seeing a star born at home. And that, in these times, is worth its weight in gold. Imagine his first goal in our stadium, imagine the celebration, imagine the faces of the children who take him as an example. That's why it's now, that's why we must push, we must make noise, but the good kind, the kind that comes from passion, analysis, collective excitement. Rodrigo Mora is not just another name. He is a real promise, a concrete possibility, and above all, an opportunity to continue being faithful to what we are, a club that bets on young talent, on beautiful football, on stories that inspire. So yes, Qs, let's dream together, let's dream of seeing him play here. Because if football justice exists, if the connection between talent and destiny exists, that day will come. And when it does, we will know that we saw it before anyone else, that we felt it before anyone else, that we wanted it before anyone else. Because that's how we are, that's how we feel, that's how we dream. The second piece of news concerns an important decision in our beloved club. There are matches that define careers and nights that ignite passions. What was experienced in Munich was not just a European final, but a masterful demonstration of talent, tactical intelligence, and competitive spirit. Amidst Paris's offensive onslaught, there was one name that stood out in its own light, a name that took control of the midfield with stunning naturalness, pulling the strings of the game like an inspired conductor. That name, Qs, is Vitina. And if a few months ago he was already an admired player, what he showed against Inter has put him on the lips of all of Europe. But among all the clubs following his trail, there is one that beats stronger, one that wants him with genuine conviction: Barcelona. Yes, Qs, Vitina is highly regarded and for good reason in the Barcelona offices, not just for a one-off performance or the media buzz he can generate. He is admired because he fits into our way of understanding the game, because his football has the Barcelona DNA, because his movements, his reading of space, his way of combining, pressing, and arriving in the box remind us of those midfielders who have made the history of our club. And the best of all is that Vitina wants to play here. He has hinted at it to his close circle, expressing that if he ever leaves Paris, his desire is to land in a team that values possession, control, and talent above physicality or brute force. And there is no better place for that than Camp Nou. 4 weeks, Barcelona's monitoring of Vitina has intensified. The technical staff is closely following him, the sports management has studied him in detail, and from the presidency, the viability of the transfer has already been assessed. Because although his release clause is high and Paris is not precisely a club that gives up its stars, the truth is that when a player wants to come, everything can align. And Qs, Vitina has already shown clear signs that he views our proposal favorably. He is not just looking to compete. He is looking to do so in an environment where he can deploy his football without restrictions. He wants to feel the ball, to touch it, move, offer passing lines, build the game. He wants to be important in a team where the midfield is the soul. And that, here, is guaranteed. Vitina is 25 years old, at his peak, having reached that golden age where physicality accompanies and the mind already dominates the tempo of the game. His performance in the European final was not an isolated flash but the confirmation of constant evolution. For 2 seasons, he has been fundamental to his team, facing demanding rivals every week, competing at the highest level. And he does it with humility, with effort, with a work ethic that fits perfectly with our values. He is not one of those players who live off exploits. Vitina builds, supports, provides balance and magic. And that, at Barcelona, is pure gold. The European football environment knows it. Real Madrid, for example, did not take long to react after his exhibition in Munich. They have been attentive, taken note, and it is already being said that he could be the ideal relay for one of their legends. But here, Qs, is where we must raise our voices. We cannot remain quiet seeing other clubs move for a player who seems made for us. Vitina must not end up anywhere other than Camp Nou, because if football has any poetic justice, he will know that it is here where he can mark an era. And beware, because we are not alone in this excitement. Many former players and legends of the club have agreed that Vitina has that something that makes him different. Even in France, several media outlets have reported that Barcelona is much more present than believed. There are conversations, approaches. It's not smoke, it's real desire. Because when the offices talk about reconstruction, the future, maintaining the essence, and returning to the top with intelligence and talent, names like Vitina's come up again and again. Dear supporters, this is one of those opportunities that cannot be missed. We are not talking about an easy or cheap operation, but an investment for the future. Because Vitina can give us a decade of top-level football, can lead a midfield like few can be that axis on which to build the game of the coming years. And not only on a sporting level but also on an emotional one. Because when a player identifies with the club, when he feels attracted to our history, our values, and our way of playing, it shows on the field, it shows in every pass, in every effort, in every goal. The player, for his part, is calm, focused on continuing to grow, but he already knows of Barcelona's interest and has not rejected it. On the contrary, he has shown a complicit smile, openness, willingness. His agents are aware, and although Paris does not want to sell, the truth is that in modern football, everything can change. Contracts are not barriers when there is will. And in this case, Kules, the will is on our side. That is why this is the moment to show that we believe in our project, that we do not just want media stars, but footballers who truly integrate, that we respect our essence, that we value the total midfielder, the brain of the game, and that we know how to identify talent in its purest form. Vitina is that, precision, mental clarity, tempo, and verticality. He has a goal but does not depend on it. He has the dribble but does not need to adorn himself. He is the type of player who makes those around him better. And if that is not a Barcelona profile, then we do not know what is. From the stands, from home, from every corner of the world where Barcelona is felt, this is the time to get excited. Because although there is still a way to go, although negotiations must begin, dreaming of Vitina is not a fantasy, it is a concrete possibility, one that depends on us, on our push, our confidence, our ability to believe. Because when the supporters believe, the club acts. And if we act with intelligence, with decision, with ambition, there is no clause that can stop us. So yes, Kules, let's talk about Vitina, let's watch his matches, follow him closely, imagine him in our stadium, feel what it would be like to have a midfielder like him pulling the strings of the team. Because when football gives us these signs, we must seize them. Not every day does a player with his profile, his vision, his sensitivity with the ball appear. And even less so one who wants to come and play with us. This can be a beautiful story, a story of mutual understanding, of a club seeking to return to the top with style, of a player who wants to be part of something great, not just for the titles, but for the legacy, and of supporters who dream awake of seeing the football that makes us fall in love flourish again. With Vitina, this story can begin. And if it begins, it will be a story of success. The third piece of news is a thunderbolt at Barcelona. Summer in the world of football is a fertile ground for emotions, speculations, and dreams, and this summer, the dreams of Barcelona supporters are on the verge of becoming reality. The transfer of Nico Williams to Barcelona is closer than ever, and the general feeling is that we are not just facing a simple recruitment, but a strategic move that can mark a new phase of success for the club. Nico, the young forward from Athletic Club, has always been a name highlighted in red in the offices of Joan Laporta. It was not a passing trend or a last-minute whim. For over a year, the president and the sports management have been clear that the Navarran winger is a key piece for the future of the institution. It is no coincidence that the club has fought so hard for his transfer. Nico embodies all the qualities that define the profile of the player sought for a project that aims to become dominant in Spain and Europe once again. Speed, dribbling, character, determination, youth, and above all, a hunger for glory. At just 21 years old, he has already shown that he has the personality to shine in high-level matches, both for his club and the national team. And now, most importantly, he has made the decision that all Barcelona supporters have been waiting for. He has chosen Barcelona above all else, even above economically superior offers. Yes, the competition was fierce. We are not talking about minor rivals. Chelsea, Arsenal, and Real Madrid entered the race with high salary promises, ambitious projects, and arguments that could have seduced any other footballer of his age. But Nico was not swayed. This is not just a sporting choice, it is a declaration of principles. He has chosen to come to Barcelona because he understands the weight of the crest, the history, the style of play, and the connection with the stands. He has chosen to come to Barcelona because he wants to be part of something great, something special. The players' will has been absolutely decisive in the negotiation. Outwardly, he has always maintained a discreet profile, without fueling rumors or making disloyal gestures towards Athletic. But in private, his representatives have been clear. Nico only wants to play for Barcelona. This statement changed everything. It was the turning point. From there, the club activated all the mechanisms to make the operation a reality. Negotiations with the players' entourage, conversations with the Basque club, internal adjustments. And now, after weeks of intense work, the deal is practically closed. The contract he will sign is for 6 seasons, a detail that shows this is not a temporary solution, but a firm bet for the long term. Nico is coming to stay, to grow with the team, to establish himself as one of the great stars of European football. And this, Barcelona supporters, is news that we should celebrate with pride, because not every day a player of this level, with this present and future, voluntarily chooses the path offered by Barcelona over any other. Furthermore, the club's strategy in this operation should be highlighted. In a market inflated by unreal figures and exorbitant clauses, the management has known how to move with intelligence, without entering into senseless price wars. It was not necessary to offer more than others, because the player's conviction made everything much easier. Barcelona has been able to convey to him that here, he will find a favorable environment to exploit all his potential, that this is the place where he can establish himself as one of the greats. And this, in a world where economics seems to always have the last word, is a moral victory. Nico is a footballer who fits perfectly into the style that has historically defined the club. His profile as an unbalancing winger, capable of breaking lines, attacking space, and generating constant danger from the flank, is what we need to give the team the offensive spark that has been so missed at times. But it is not just what he offers with the ball at his feet. He also brings sacrifice, tactical commitment, and an exemplary competitive attitude. He is the type of player who inspires, who leads, who motivates, who does not hide, who wants to be a protagonist. And we must not forget that we are talking about a footballer who has already demonstrated his level in important competitions. He has shown with Athletic in the Copa del Rey, La Liga, and in high-demand matches. He has also been important in the national team, where he has responded to the trust of the technical staff. At every step, Nico has confirmed that he is ready for a challenge like this, that responsibility does not scare him, that he wants to be great. And what better place to do it than at Barcelona, a club that offers him the perfect scenario to grow and triumph. Now, Barcelona supporters, I ask you directly, what do you think of this transfer? Doesn't it fill you with excitement to think that a player like Nico, with so many offers on the table, has decided to wear our jersey? Doesn't it make you proud that, in a league where many think that only money can attract talent, our club is still capable of seducing the best with history, values, and identity? We must be ready to welcome him as he deserves. Nico is coming because he wants to be here, not because he was convinced with figures. And this makes it a special transfer, one of those players who truly want to defend the crest, who feel the jersey, who know what it means to play at Camp Nou. Very soon, we will see him on the field, facing his marker, lifting his head and delivering dangerous crosses, scoring goals, celebrating with the supporters. And when that happens, we will know that this summer was not just any summer, that it was the summer when Nico chose Barcelona and Barcelona chose Nico. This is the type of transfer that changes dynamics, strengthens the team, and generates excitement in the stands and in the locker room. Nico represents the future, represents energy, represents that mix of natural talent and winning mentality that we have so valued in other great names in our history. And now, it is our turn as supporters to rise to the occasion, to show him that here, he will find more than a club, he will find a family, a city that vibrates with football, a stadium that will ovation him from the first dribble. There is no doubt that if nothing goes wrong, the official announcement is about to drop. The operation is almost closed, and all signs point to Nico Williams officially becoming a Barcelona player in a matter of days, if not hours. And this, Barcelona supporters, is something to celebrate. Are we ready to welcome him as he deserves? Are we ready to enjoy his football and accompany him on this new adventure? Are we convinced that this transfer can be key to building a championship-winning team? I, as a Barcelona supporter, have no doubt. Nico Williams is destined to be one of the great names of the new era at Barcelona. And the fact that he wanted to start this journey with us says a lot. Welcome, Nico, this is your home.